Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your TNA pay-per-view results from last night, the lockdown. And I was trying to do it a while ago. My battery on my laptop went dead and had to recharge it. Okay, the lockdown started off with they kicked off a music video featuring Aces and Eights, Team TNA, Kurt Angle, Burley Ray, and Jeff Hardy. We're live from San Antonio, Texas with Todd Kenley, Mike Tenay, and Taz on commentary. They hyped the pay-per-view. And first matchup is a TNA X Division title match. Christian York versus Zema Ion versus Kenny King. We go to the ring, and out first comes Zema, then Christian, then Kenny King. Bell rings, and York takes down King first. Zema drop kicks York and shows off some. Back and forth action with York and Zema until York takes out King. Zema with a big head scissors on York. York comes back with a clothesline. King comes in and works on York. King escapes to the floor and regroups. York and Zema go at it. In the ring, York dives through the ropes and takes out King. Zema dives out, but York kicks him in the head. King takes out York and uses Zema's neck to jump onto York and the fan barrier. King looked like he hits his head hard on the railing, but he got back up. Zema corkscrewed out and took both men down. And out. York caught Zema with a power bomb, but King springboards in and takes Zema off his shoulders with a neck breaker. Gets a 2 count on Zema. York with a suplex and a 2 count on King. King with a big shot on the neck and neck on the ropes to York. 2 count for King. King with chops and punches on the corner. York fires back with chops of his own. King sneaks a rake in the eyes scoop. Slams York. King goes to the top, but Zema meets him. Zema hurricanrana's King on top of York and covers for a 2 count. Zema with a suplex on York. Zema with a running moonsault and another 2 count. King knocks down Zema, but York goes to work on him. York leg drops King from the second rope and covers for a 2 count. Zema and York go at it. Zema with a double team stomp and a drop kick slide to King. Zema with a tornado DDT on York for a 2 count. King knocks Zema from the top rope out to the entranceway. King slams Ion on the entrance ramp and leg drops him. York drags Zema back into the ring, covers for a 2 count. King and York goes at it. King drops York with a big knee, takes down Zema to the top for a big throw, but York power bombs him into the follow-away slam. York covers for a 2 count for himself. York unloads on King and hits a big bulldog. York clotheslines Zema. York blocks a kick from King and nails a back suplex. York counters Zema and kicks him with a variation of neck breaker for 2. King blocks a kick but takes the next one from York. Zema with rakes to the back on both men. More three-man moves. Zema with a 2 count on each man. York ends up dropping Zema from the top with a big kick. York hits a double stomp on Zema and rolls through, hitting his move on King. York goes for the mood swing on Zema, but King breaks it up with some knees. Zema goes back down. York counters for a 2. Counters King and rolls him up for a 2. King counters and hits a DDT for the win on York. Jeremy Borash backstage with Joseph Park. He says the boys have been ripping him all week. Kazarian and Daniels come up from behind and tell Joseph that Dixie Carter was looking for him around the catering area. Park rushes off and goes to check, and Kaz says tonight it's about bad influence, and they will become the tag team champions again. Daniel says that they are tired of being disrespected by Dixie, TNA, and the fans. And next up we get Joseph Park versus Joey Ryan versus Joseph Park. We go to the ring. Out first comes Joey Ryan, and the winner, Joseph Park, comes out next. Ryan cut a promo before the match, talking about Park's gut and how fat the people of Texas were. Ryan calls Park a big mark since he's learning insider terms out. Ryan says he has a size advantage where it counts. Ryan says size matters and hands Park the mic. Park says San Antonio rocks and the crowd pops. Ryan attacks Park from behind and the bell sounds. Ryan kicks Park and tries to whip him into the ropes, but can't. Ryan ducks a big boot and rakes Park in the face. Ryan retreats to the floor, and when Park charges, Park pulls him back into the ring. But Ryan drops his neck over the top rope. Ryan comes back in and gets hip tossed. Park with a big right hand. Park with another big shot in the corner. Park runs into a big boot. Ryan goes for a crossbody, but it doesn't phase Park. Park misses a splash in the corner, and Ryan kicks his leg out. Ryan with the right hands down. Ryan keeps control and covers for another pin attempt. Ryan with several more pin attempts with not much effort. Ryan rubs a baby oil on his chest and in Park's face. Ryan runs and hits another right hand in the corner. Ryan goes up to the top and comes down with a missile drop kick. Ryan with another 2 count. Park grabs Ryan by his neck and makes a comeback. Park with a big wedgie and some shoulder blocks. Park with an atomic drop and a shot to the backside. Park runs and splashes Ryan in that corner. Park goes up top but misses a big splash. Ryan tries to roll Park up but couldn't, and Park just reverses his weight on Ryan for the pinfall. Then we see footage of Jeff Hardy arriving in the arena at the arena earlier in the evening or in the day. Brooke Hogan backstage talking to Bully Ray about his match tonight. He hushes her up and says he knows he's excited but he's nervous. Ray says he wants to make her himself and Hogan proud. Hulk comes in on crutches and asks Brooke to give them a minute. Hogan says tonight it's a pivotal time for them. He says TNA has a chance to move on tonight. Hogan says Jeff Hardy has been good for the moment, but there's something about Ray that he can't put his finger on. Hogan says there's something special about Ray. Hogan thinks Ray is TNA's launching point. Hogan says it's more than Ray being his son-in-law. Hogan says Ray broke her spark back, and to see her happy means a lot. Hogan says he loves Ray like his own son. Hogan wants Ray to win the World Heavyweight title because he can't. Because he can't. Hogan can't. TNA titles match. Gail Kim versus Velvet Sky. Go to the ring. Out first comes Gail Kim, and then the champion herself comes out next. So far, all the people that have came out last have all won matches. The match starts, and they go at it. Early pin attempt by Velvet. Gail escapes to the ropes, but comes back fighting and turns it around. Gail with a 2 count out of the corner. Taryn Terrell is in her usual role as Knockouts referee. Velvet takes Gail Kim down with a head scissors takedown. Gail comes back with a kick, but Velvet counters with a neck breaker and another 2 count. Velvet drop kicks Gail out to the floor. Gail runs the apron and hits the senton on the floor. Velvet goes for a move on the floor, but Gail shoves her back into the ring post. Gail brings it back to the ring and gets a 2 count. Gail turns it around and hits a spear in the corner. They trade shots until Gail drops her with a kick. Gail slams Velvet on her side and covers for another 2 count. Taryn and Gail argue because Gail used the ropes to get leverage. And Gail used the ropes to choke Velvet then. And Gail puts the boots to Velvet's head now. Gail with a backbreaker and a 2 count. Gail with an uppercut. Velvet counters and drops Gail on her face. Out of the corner, Gail charges and misses a clothesline. Velvet comes back with a clothesline of her own. Velvet with a high knee and a bulldog. Velvet with an inverted neck breaker and a closed 2 count. Gail misses a kick and grabs Taryn's arm, as I didn't get quite finished with that. All three tangle, and Velvet catches Eat Defeat. Gail with a close 2 count. Gail and Taryn argue. And Gail shoves Taryn back by her face. Gail backs Taryn into the corner. And finally smacks her. Gail begs Taryn to disqualify her. Taryn spears Gail and starts slamming her head into the mat. Gail comes back, but Gail comes back up. But Velvet comes from behind. And Velvet hits her finisher for the win. Winner and still champion. Knockout champion, Velvet. Who let the pitches loose? Sky. Robbie E is backstage with Jeremy Borash. He cuts a promo on Robbie T and says tonight he will make his hoe. He will make him his hoe. And we get a promo video for their match. Robbie E versus Robbie T. And we go to the ring. Out first goes Robbie E. Robbie T is out next. And again, another last man wins. The bell rings. Robbie E calls for a timeout. He pleads to Terry to make up. E hugs Terry, but Terry isn't hugging back. Terry knocks Robbie across the ring and into the corner, Ryback style. They go at it, and Robbie applies a headlock and celebrates it. Terry powers out and sends Robbie back to the mat. Robbie tries to take out Terry's knee, but Terry just gut wrench slams him. Robbie managed to chop Terry down and gets a 1 count. Robbie goes for the super hold, but brings Terry down to a 1 knee. Terry fights back to his feet and rams Robbie back in the corner. Robbie gets his boots up, but leaps onto Terry's arms, or into Terry's arms. Terry goes for the big slam, but Robbie slides out. Terry with a clothesline and a big overhead power slam. Robbie T goes on and hits another big slam for the win. Robbie T wins. Jeremy Borash is again backstage with one half of the TNA Tag Champions, A-Double. JB asks where Bobby Roode is. Aries says people have been asking him that for 2 weeks now. And A-Double says that he's proved that he doesn't need Roode to get the job done and keep the tag titles himself. Aries says that won't be necessary because Roode appears and asks Aries if he misses him, and they walk off together. TNA Tag Team title match, Chavo Guerrero and Hernandez versus Kazarian and Daniels versus A-Double and Bobby Roode. And again, the same results. The champions walk out. The last man's walk out of this match. So we go to the ring, and out first comes the team of Chavo Guerrero and Hernandez. Kazarian and Daniels are out next, and then the tag champions. Chavo starts things off with Roode. Roode immediately tags in Daniels. They lock up, and Chavo applies a headlock. Chavo chops Daniels with a shoulder, but Daniels comes right back with one of his own. More back and forth action. Chavo with a big backdrop. Hernandez drops Daniels, and Chavo keeps up the offense. Hernandez tags in for a bit of double teaming on Daniels. A-Double and Roode come in, and they Chavo chops Aries into Roode's crotch. Chavo and Hernandez end up clearing house of everyone, and the crowd cheers. Daniels and Chavo are back in now. Another tag to Hernandez for some double teaming. Daniels turns it around and tags in Kazarian. Chavo keeps control. Hernandez comes in and slams Chavo on top of Kazarian. Hernandez splashes Kaz for a 2 count. Hernandez fights off Kaz and Daniels until Kaz hits him with a missile drop kick from the top rope. Kaz mounts Hernandez with right hands. They double team him with some nice moves, and Daniels covers for Aries for a breakup pin. Another tag and double team on Hernandez. He blocks them and suplexes them both at the same time. Chavo comes back in and fights off both men. Chavo with head scissors take down on Daniels, and Chavo hits his 5 straight suplexes on Kaz. 5. I didn't see the pay-per-view, so this is all by report. Aries comes in and breaks it up. The normal site that I normally try to watch it on was down. Even try to catch it on my cell phone, down. Even trying to get the results on it was down. More back and forth with everyone. Kaz and Daniels keep control of Chavo in the corner when things settle. And yes, I'm going back and forth watching Raw and this report. Ryback is facing Heath Slater right now. And Mark Henry comes down and we're doing inside just there. Well, back to the pay-per-view here. Okay. Lots of more double teaming. Okay. Daniels stomps Chavo and takes him out. 1 count by Daniels. As he's showing off, Roode tags himself in and goes to work on Chavo. Roode drops an elbow for a 2 count. Aries tags in and they double team Chavo for another double team. They double team Chavo after Roode catapults himself with an elbow. More double teaming for a 2 count. The referee is distracted as they hold Chavo down in the corner. Hernandez comes in out of nowhere and hits Aries from behind. Roode tags in, and they keep Chavo stuck in their corner. Of course, they're forcing Hernandez out of the match, probably. Another cheap shot from Aries while the referee isn't looking. Chavo fights back, but Aries tags in, and keeps up the double teamwork. Aries with a big drop kick to the back of the head for a 2 count. Roode comes back in for more of the same on Chavo. Chavo fights back but misses a drop kick. Roode catapults him into the corner, but Chavo nails Aries. Chavo goes up for a moonsault but misses. Misses a drop kick. Roode catapults himself into the corner, but Chavo nails Aries. Chavo goes up for a moonsault, but misses. Roode and Chavo close on each other, and they both go down. Kaz, Daniels, and Aries and Roode are arguing. now before a brawl breaks out. Aries and Kaz collide in midair and go down. Chavo crawls to the top and takes out both. Kaz and Aries with a crossbody. Hernandez leaps into the ring and clotheslines Aries and Kaz at the same time. Hernandez runs over both of them and then some more. He presses Aries high and drops him on his face. Rude and Daniels double team Hernandez and he takes them both out. As Hernandez nails a double backbreaker, Hernandez covers Aries, but the referee is distracted. Close 2 count by Hernandez. Hernandez goes for a border toss, but it's blocked. Hernandez knocks Aries out of midair, but Daniels nails an STO. Chavo with a spin kick. Rude takes out Chavo. Kaz and Rude go at it now. Kaz with a huge DDT off the ropes. Looks like a tornado DDT. Kaz goes for the fade to black, but it's blocked. Aries with a kick in the corner. Rude with his big spine buster on Kaz. Daniels tags himself in and stops Aries on the top rope. Rude and Daniels go at it now. Hernandez flies from the ring and takes them both out with a big pop. Lots more back and forth as everyone is down on the outside. Hernandez goes to the powerbomb Aries, but Aries makes them both fall out to the floor. Since they came out, they went back outside the ring again. Daniels cuts Chavo off on the top, and they trade shots high on the top rope. Chavo sends Daniels to the mat. Chavo goes for the frog splash and nails it for a pinfall. But referee says Rude tagged in by touching Chavo's boot, so he's legal. Rude takes the advantage and covers Daniels for the pin and the win. So your tag champion has stayed the same. The controversy over the knockouts match earlier. JB is backstage with Taryn Terrell. She talks about her decision, but gets attacked by Gail Kim backstage. And we see the steel cage being erected for the rest of tonight's matches. We see Aces and Eights backstage talking. D'Lo Brown talks about what the group has done to TNA. Brown tells Wes Briscoe to go handle club business. They go to get ready for the Lethal Lockdown. And don't forget that D'Lo is only the VP of the group. JB is backstage with Kurt Angle. Angle says tonight is the night that he makes Wes Briscoe famous. Angle says he hasn't forgot about D'Lo Brown and says what he did was unforgivable. Angle says Brown is next. Angle says Briscoe is a snot-nosed little punk who needs his ass kicked, and tonight it's real. It's damn real. And we cut a promo for their match. So we get Wes Briscoe versus Kurt Angle. Well, this match, I don't remember how it goes, but we'll soon find out. Let's see if it all stays the same as the rest. The last man in the match is the winner. We go to the cage, and out first comes Wes Briscoe. Out comes Angle with a decent pop. The bell rings, and there we go. Angle goes behind and hits his German suplex on Briscoe. Briscoe strikes now and takes Angle to the corner. Briscoe with a shoulder thrust. Briscoe comes to climb the cage, but Angle pulls him down and nails a German suplex. Angle keeps control and works Briscoe over. Angle with a shoulder thrust of his own. Briscoe fights back, and they trade shots. Briscoe gets the upper hand and takes Angle back to the corner. Briscoe with a kick to the back and a mount with right hands. Briscoe rips Angle's t-shirt off and chokes him with it. Angle finally comes back with a clothesline and big belly suplex. Angle tosses Briscoe face first into the cage wall. Briscoe finally turns it around and again with a low blow. Briscoe crawls out of the cage, but Angle pulls him back with the ankle lock. Briscoe rolls out of it and sends Angle into the cage. Briscoe climbs and reaches the top of the cage, but Angle climbs up and stops him. They trade shots on the top rope. Angle slams Briscoe's face into the cage wall. Angle nails a German suplex from the middle of the top rope to the mat, and the crowd pops. Angle gets up first, but Briscoe counters. Angle accidentally clotheslines the referee, and he goes down. Angle applies ankle lock, and Briscoe taps out, but the referee is down. So Angle breaks a hole and wakes up the referee. Angle hits the Angle slam on Briscoe and flips the bird. Angle walks out of the cage and holds his hands in the air, but the referee didn't see him leave. D'Lo Brown attacked him from behind and threw Angle back in the cage. D'Lo pulls Briscoe out of the cage. And, of course, the referee sees it, and Wes Briscoe wins. So there's your first one in won the match. We get a promo video for tonight's Lethal Lockdown match with Aces and Eights versus Team TNA. So, there you go. Lethal Lockdown match. Team TNA is Brutus Magnus, Samoa Joe, James Storm, and Eric Young. And of course, Sting is with them too. Well, versus Aces and Eights, members of Devon, Mr. Knox. Yeah, Mr. Knox is what it said. Doc, and Garrett Bischoff. So it's Devon, Mr. Knox, Doc, and Garrett Bischoff. They supposedly have the advantage since they won the match on Impact. We go to the cage, and out first comes Mr. Anderson so there you go. Mr. Anderson. Okay, it's Mr. Anderson and then Mike Knox. Okay. So we got 5 versus 5. We go to the cage, out first comes Mr. Anderson for Aces and Eights for Team TNA, and he faces Magnus. They have words to start the match before going at it. Magnus takes Anderson down and shoves him back into the corner. Anderson turns it around and works for Magnus over in the corner. Magnus turns it around and does the same. They run the ropes and Magnus nails a flying knee. Magnus goes face first into the cage as the clock hits 1 minute until another Aces and Eights member comes out because they had advantage. More back and forth with Anderson and Magnus. Magnus blocks a mic check, and they both close on each other. Out next comes Mike Knox for Aces and Eights. Knox and Anderson use their advantage and take turns on Magnus. Knox nails a big sidewalk slam, and Anderson follows up with a leg drop. The assault on Magnus continues until the next man comes out for Team TNA, and that's Samoa Joe. Joe comes in and unloads on Knox and Anderson. Knox catches a big kick to the head. Anderson cuts him off, but Joe and Magnus double team him. Joe with a big senton on Anderson. Magnus works on Anderson while Joe has Knox down in the corner. Joe and Magnus with more double teaming on Anderson now. The clock counts down, and the next man out for Aces and Eights is Garrett Bischoff. Garrett goes after Magnus with a rake to the face and then beats Joe down. Garrett goes back at Magnus, and then the crowd, you can't wrestle, to taunt Garrett. Garrett taunts the crowd and turns around to double teaming from Joe and Magnus. Joe with a big double knee drop on Bischoff. Aces and Eights get the upper hand again until Eric Young comes out next for Team TNA. And Young drop kicks Bischoff and unloads on Knox. Young cleans house as the crowd pops. Joe and Knox go at it while Young and Bischoff fight in the corner. That makes it an even size matchup. Well, Magnus drops a knee on Anderson. Bischoff turns it around on Young and runs his face into the steel. Next man out for Aces and Eights is Devon. Devon comes in and takes out Magnus. Then Joe, and then Young. The crowd chants for tables. Aces and Eights once again have the numbers advantage and take control of the match. Young takes Devon down out of nowhere, but gets beat down by Bischoff. Next man out for Team TNA is James Storm, the cowboy himself. Storm hits the ring and takes down Devon. And then Mr. Anderson with a neck breaker. Right hand from Bischoff. Storm takes him out to the corner. And then hits Knox with knees to the face. Storm nails Knox with a last call. Super kick. And he goes down. Storm works Anderson over in the corner now. The next man out for Aces and Eights is Doc. Doc hits the cage and lays out Team TNA members. Doc slams Magnus and Knox drops an elbow on him. Aces and Eights stand tall as the crowd boos them. Knox splashes Magnus in the corner with a big clothesline. Doc works him over with body shots. Anderson with a big boot to Storm's face. Next man out for Team TNA is Sting to a big pop. Sting comes out with 2 trash cans full of weapons. Sting levels them out, leaves them outside, but brings them back into the ring and cleans house. The rest of the weapons come into play as Team TNA has control now. Lots of trash can shots, and other weapons. Team TNA has control since the weapons came in. Joe with a huge trash can shot to Bischoff. Joe rubs the lid onto his face, and Sting follows up with a Stinger splash. Sting puts a trash can over Anderson's head and splashes him. Sting holds Anderson so Young can hit him with a bat. Young almost hit Sting, and they stop to regroup. Anderson takes advantage and takes Sting down. Aces and Eights take control of the weapons and turn things around for them. Devon lays Young out with a trash can lid. Knox goes to slam Young on a steel chair, but Young counters and DDTs him onto it. Doc choke slams Young. Storm decks Doc with a trash can lid, and then Magnus slams him. Garrett Bischoff climbs up to the top rope and top of the cage when facing off with Storm and Magnus. They chase him, but Devon and Anderson come over for a 5-man superplex. Joe comes over and powerbombs all 5 men. He locks the submission on Anderson, but Knox breaks it up right before Anderson starts tapping. Knox beats down Sting, but Young stops a chair shot. Sting with a scorpion death drop. Sting tells Young to go to the corner. Sting tells him to go up higher. And then Young climbs up to the top to end the match, and top of the cage elbow drop. Young covers for the win, for the pin and the win. So you got 1-1 for Team TNA versus Aces and Eights. And we get Bully Ray versus Jeff Hardy for your main event title match. We go to the cage. Out first comes the challenger, Bully Ray. Then, of course, Jeff Hardy, the champion, is out next. And this is your another match that ends out with the first man coming out winning and new champion. And this is how it happens. Full introductions by Jeremy Borash, as he replaced Christy Hemme for the remaining of the matches where the introductions were done by Christy Hemme. Well, they lock up and Ray applies a headlock. Ray with a big shoulder block that sends Hardy down. So far, it's straight up wrestling. Ray blocks a shot and draws Hardy for a quick pin attempt. They lock up and Ray scoops Hardy for a 2 count. Ray takes it to the corner. Hardy finally gets some offense in and arm drags Ray. Hardy with a big splash in the corner. Hardy blocks Ray and comes off the top for a 2 count. Hardy climbs the cage first, but Ray stops him. Hardy kicks Ray to the mat and splashes him from the top rope for a 2 count. Hardy climbs the cage, but Ray stops him. They tangle and Ray crotches Hardy over the top rope. After a low kick, Ray drops the elbows for another pin attempt. Hardy makes a comeback, but Ray beats him back down and keeps him grounded on the mat. Ray with a tight hug on Hardy's lower back now. That's a wear down move. Ray goes to the top, but crashes down as Hardy moves. Hardy kicks Ray in the gut and goes for a twist of fate, but it's blocked. Hardy counters the bubble bomb and nails the twist of fate. Whisper Briscoe and Garrett Bischoff come down and climb in the cage. Hardy fights them off. Ray runs over them with a clothesline. So this is your swerve here. From a clothesline, Hardy leaps off Ray's back and splashes both of the Aces and Eights members in the corner. Ray and Hardy throw them both out of the cage temporarily and onto the entrance ramp. Hardy and Ray trade shots in the middle of the ring now. So it still looks like Bully is straight up face. Well, we'll find out. Hardy takes Ray down with a clothesline. Hardy with an atomic drop and a leg drop. Then another drop kick. Then a drop kick for a 2 count. Hardy climbs the cage, but Ray stops him. Ray with a big shot on the top rope. Hardy fights back while they stand up on the top rope. Hardy kicks Ray, but falls to the mat. Ray is stunned, but falls on top of Hardy for a 2 count. Hardy nails another twist of fate, but Ray doesn't fall. Hardy climbs to the cage and Ray grabs his foot again. Hardy fights Ray off, but Ray grabs him and Ray power bombs Hardy from way up high and both fall. Both men are down. Ray covers for a close 2 count. We see Hulk Hogan and Brooke coming down the ringside. Hogan encourages Ray to get up and keep going. Aces and Eights come back out and start climbing the cage. Ray and Hardy go back and get ready to fight with chains in their hands. Devon tosses Ray what looks like a rubber hammer. Ray points at it. Bischoff points at Bischoff, but nails Hardy from behind with a weapon. Devon jumps down. Reunites with Ray. Ray covers for the win and the swerve and the new TNA World Heavyweight Champion, Bully Ray. Well, Aces and Eights force Earl Hebner to raise Ray's hand. And, yeah, raise. Bully Ray. And the whole group celebrates. Ray yells at Brooke Hogan through the cage and says she meant nothing to him. Ray disses her and starts yelling at Hogan, daring him to do something about it. Hogan jabs the his crutches at the cage, Brooke can be heard crying as Ray takes a mic and knocks her. I don't know if he knocked her down with it, but or mocks her, or just yelling at her. Ray says he used Hulk and screwed Brooke. Hogan is pissed now. Double H. And the crowd starts throwing trash inside the trash at the ring. Aces and Eights stand tall, raising their hands. Ray says most of all, he fooled every single one of us. The Aces and Eights music hits as Taz brags on commentary. Ray announces he is the president of Aces and Eights. So we get Bully Ray as the president, and and D'Lo as the vice president. And Ray declares himself as the world heavyweight champion, and Devon hugs him. The celebration continues, but Ray slips crawling up on the ropes as the crowd laughs. Lockdown goes off the air with Aces and Eights celebrating in the cage. And that ends my pay-per-view results from Lockdown from last night on March the 10th, 2013. Thanks again. Peace out.